Welcome to the Q1 Buck Pull. I'm Tim Hart. He's Mike Big Buck Hoffner, and we have been out and about. Last week we had our parties in Battle Creek. We had our party in Jackson, and the biggest buck in the state on the Q1 Buck Pull, Jamie McKibben, joined us in Jackson this year.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it's exciting to see the quality of the deer that have been brought in, and every year I think it's just amazing to see what people do with deer hunting.
We have big bucks on the show. We also have our third part of the venison root vegetable pasty with Chef Betty Garrett from the Soaring Eagle Casino. We're going to put it all together. It's been a couple of weeks now. We're putting it all together. And then to end up the show, we're going to have more stories from the Jackson market. We've got some great prizes. And you know, Mike, as we meet people out there, don't you find it interesting, all the different age ranges now? You've got a lot of women out there hunting, just a variety of people where, you know, in years past, people say, that person hunts? Yeah, there's a lot of people that get out and hunt.
Well, you know what? It's become a true family experience for the entire family, women, kids, adults, grandparents, name it all. But again, you know, the thing that's so neat about it, it's about educating people about what deer hunting is all about. And that's why I like the family-style deer hunting episodes that we share with our audience.
All right, stay with us. Stories from Jackson, we've got some cooking, and we got big bucks on today's show. You're watching the Q1 Buck Pull.
The Q1 Buck Pull is sponsored by these participating businesses who support the great outdoors in Michigan.
Back here on the Q1 Buck Pull, well, we are giving away a lot of prizes coming up, including the CVA 50 caliber muzzleloader, and we've got Dart and Terminator crossbows. We've got in the back here all kinds of Gorilla tree stands that we're giving away. And Mike, it's party time, and we're looking forward to seeing a lot of hunters and guests.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it's party time, but what we want to see is we want to see bucks. And speaking of bucks, let's roll with these. Let's start out with Ryan Salyer from Vicksburg, Michigan, bringing in an 8-pointer. His score was 39.5. Blake Thurston from Morley with a 9-pointer. His score 38 3/4. And Gerald Troxell from Pinconning, Michigan, a little up north, bringing in an 8-pointer. The score 38 1/4.
Our host for our Jackson area party was Buffalo Barbecue Wings, and we appreciate Jenny and her staff doing a great job. Again, great appetizers, a lot of fun, great atmosphere, and also, as always, a lot of great stories.
Long story short, I missed him at about 12 steps.
This particular deer, you missed at 12 steps?
On October 25th, I missed him at 12 steps. It was stupid. I try to make good shots, but sometimes when they're that big, you gotta kind of let it fly, you know? So he was quartered away, but he was almost walking away. And I missed him by, you know, a quarter of an inch, but I missed him still, so sucked.
You dropped him, did he go far or not?
What, about 70 yards? It was kind of cool because I don't know what brand, but I had one of the knocks that light up, and it was closer to dark, so I watched him, you know, go through the woods, and it was kind of cool. Watched him about 70 yards, and he fell over. I jumped out of the tree, by the way.
How high was the tree?
I was a climber. I was probably up 20 feet or so. I didn't jump out of the tree, but I remember when I was 12 and I shot my first buck, I literally jumped out of the tree. I was that excited, and I was pretty excited for this one too.
Well, I can imagine the excitement, especially on a climber. I bet that was the fastest. I bet there was a lot of friction going on all the way down.
I was pretty excited about it. It was pretty surreal, and a lot of times when you shoot a deer, you get what they call it, ground shrinkage. I think I got ground growage. It was kind of cool.
And again, as you take a look, again, some nice brow tines, a lot of character. You look on the right side, a couple of the points, doing something a little bit funky there. I tell you, a lot of character in the deer. Now, you hunt all over the place. I know you go to Ohio a lot and other states. Did you see as many deer in Michigan this year, or did you see more deer in other states?
No, I saw more in Michigan. In fact, it started out not very good. My buddy Alan Brissett's at our table, and he's got some nice property out near Springport, and I had called him a couple times crying because I found a bunch of dead deer because of EHD. In a river near, where I hunt, and that area was kind of bad. So I just kind of got out of that area and moved to a couple different areas. I shot this one on the 26th, and then Bud and I went to Ohio over gun season, which was we probably left about the 13th or 14th, and we were there for 9 days. I never saw a shooter buck the whole time I was there. He saw a couple, but I never saw a shooter. So, but we're not very familiar. It was our first trip to Ohio, so it was a learning experience.
Okay, so taking a look at all the hunting that you've done over time, give us the biggest key to success, being out in the woods and having success like you had here.
I think you got to think about it every day of the year, and you got to try to figure out where there's not as much pressure, first of all. And I think you got to make a quick entrance in, not disturb things and make a lot of noise getting in, and not make a lot of noise getting out. Be quiet going in and quiet going out, and hunt where they're at.
Well, I will tell you this, coming up on March 2nd at the Soaring Eagle, this buck, along with all of the bucks that people bring, we're going to have buck boards in the back. We'll have this one up front and center so people can see it. One of the biggest bucks that we registered in the state. What a great deer, great hunt.
Time now for our sponsor spotlight. We're at Camel Creek Hydrographics in Brighton. Kevin Target is with us. Kevin.
Hey, Tim.
Hey, we're talking about dipped skulls and all kinds of materials to be dipped here at Camel Creek Hydrographics. Tell me about the process of dipping a skull.
Sure. What we do, Tim, is either a customer will bring us a skull that's already been cleaned and ready to go, or they can bring us one that we'll beetle clean it for them. So you can bring us a whole head, frozen or fresh. We'll take it and we'll skin it out. We'll put it through the beetling process. The beetles will go through, they eat all the flesh, cartilage, anything you can think of that's in there. They take care of everything for us. Once they're done with it, we put it through a sanitizing process. So we kill any bacteria, any foul odors, anything like that is eliminated. Then we paint it, put it through their dipping process, let them dry out for a day or two, then we clear coat them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And if we take a look, there's all different types of patterns to take a look at. Here we've got kind of an orangish pattern. We've got the white looking pattern here. So you've got all different types of colors to choose from.
Oh, sure. We've got probably about 20 patterns total. We've probably got a key 6 patterns that are probably our most popular that people like, but we can put it on anything. We've got other patterns besides those also, but like the gun stocks here, we can do the gun stocks, archery equipment, we can put it on just about anything. We can't do a complete firearm at this time due to a change in the law, but we just moved to a new location with proper zoning, so we're applying for our federal firearms license right now so we can hopefully start doing complete firearms again shortly.
All right, so if you need a bow dipped, you need a skull dipped, you need a mailbox dipped, whatever the case is,
Sure.
You guys can take care of them. And they can see a lot of your work online too, right?
Sure. You can check out our website, or you can check us out on our Facebook page. We've got a little bit more current stuff on there until we redo the website. And on the website also, we'll have all the new patterns on there, hopefully by the first of the year. We've got a new distributor we're working with, so a lot of the patterns you see here are some of them from the new distributor. So.
All right, check them out. Camel Creek Hydrographics in Brighton. Our sponsor spotlight today, Kevin, thanks for being with us.
Thanks, Tim.
All right, I'm Tim Hart, and you're watching the Q1 Buck Poll. Well, before we get into cooking here on the Q1 Buck Poll, we remind you to go to q1buckpoll.com where you can see all the past TV episodes. In addition, you can check out all the bucks from around the state. And as we talk about bucks, as always, this is Big Buck Hoffner's time of the show to feature some bucks from around the state.
Let's go with Kelly Reifenbark from Pinconning, Michigan, an 8-pointer, the score 37 1/4. Daniel Warner from Bay City brings in an 8-pointer, the score 36 3/4. And Daryl Yeomans from Clio with an 8-pointer, the score 36 1/4.
Well, today's recipe, we're bringing it all together. So it's kind of like a venison stew put into a pasty that's all put together, and they kind of decorate going around. And I will tell you right now, it was a sweet potato pasty. It was delicious.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, rumor has it, Tim, that you ate all the whole darn thing. Is that true? It was good, wasn't it?
I kept right on going. That was my lunch and snack later on in today. Off to the Soaring Eagle with Chef Betty Garrett. Okay, so as you've seen, we've moved everything out of the way. We're on to making the pasty. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. So this has been in the fridge or either overnight or a couple hours, something
Yep.
like that.
At least a couple hours.
And what does it do? Is it going to give it the firmness? Is that what it does by cooling it off?
There's butter in it, so it's gonna kind of give it a chance to firm up a little,
Okay.
and also allow the baking soda
All right.
to do its job. So the recipe that we did is actually going to do 4 pasties. So we're going to take that and divide it into 2, and divide it into 2 again, and that's what we're going to use for 1 pasty.
Okay.
A little flour. We're just going to roll it out. Just like you would a regular pie crust.
Okay.
And you can see that sweet potato gives it a kind of neat color.
Yeah, it does.
And it adds, it's a little different texture than a regular pie crust. All right, so from this point, I'm happy with that. So I'm going to add some of the venison stew. Now this is cooled, so I'm going to put that in the middle. About a half a cup or so.
Looks good just like it is.
At this point, I am going to fold it over in half. I'm going to leave myself a little edge there, a little lip, so that I can fold it over.
Almost like what they would call a calzone type fold.
Kind of the same shape, yep.
Okay.
All right, so now I'm just going to trim the edges off because I want to have a nice lip there.
Okay.
So I'm going to start by folding this over.
Just to seal it all in together.
Yep, to seal it all in together. And now for extra added little look, I'm going to flatten that out a little bit. Now I'm going to pinch the edges. That's going to keep all that
That's the
filling
chef's
inside.
touch right there, isn't it? Makes it pretty, but
I think
it
any
is
cook at home
useful.
can do this, but yeah. All right, now I'm going to take some egg wash. This is just egg whites that I've whipped up a little bit. This is
Just
gonna,
put them in the blender or something like that?
You
or
can
what?
just fork whip it. Just
Okay.
whip it with a fork. Now I'm going to coat this nice. What this is going to do is help it brown. This dough does not have as much fat as a normal dough would have. It doesn't have shortening.
Okay.
Just a little bit of butter and those sweet potatoes, so it needs something to kind of help it brown.
All right.
Okay, then I'm going to add a couple little slits. What this is going to do is this is going to allow it to steam, and so it will not burst out the side easier.
Okay, it'll
actually
kinda come
steam
out
off
the top.
Yep. Okay, now I've got a little spray on there, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set that on my baking sheet, and that's going to go in the oven at 350 for about 15 minutes.
Okay, so the Marcella morels are all cooked perfectly. Take a little look at that. That looks delicious. See, that would be something that a lot of people just eat with a fork, wouldn't
Absolutely. Absolutely,
The
yes.
smell, the aroma, and you know that wine really sets things off.
Yes, it does. Absolutely. Okay, so at this point, I'm just going to add a little bit of beef base to this.
Okay.
I don't think I'm going to thicken it because I kind of like it that way. Okay.
And again, you can make changes whatever you want. If you want it thicker or not,
Yep.
but
Yep. I'm just going to add just a little bit of beef base, maybe a quarter of a cup, just to add a little savory to that sweet because it is really sweet right now. And again, some butter.
gotta
I like
have
the
the
whole cup
butter.
butter at the end.
You gotta have the. Notice how they said, "Oh, we're gonna start with a little bit of butter, and then every little thing we do, there's more butter and more butter." So I'm telling you right now, you better go get a couple pounds. But you will be fat and happy. Looking good.
There we go. Okay. Just a little bit of salt and pepper. Give it a taste. I think we're good.
What do you think, Chef?
Good to go.
Good to go.
All right. Excellent. I like that texture too. Okay.
Check the oven.
There we go.
Okay. Is it time? Are we moments away from plating?
I believe so. As soon as the pasty's done, we'll be plating. Yep.
All right. So how long does the pasty stay in there?
Probably about 15 minutes. This is a convection oven.
Okay.
So it's going to take a little less than it would at home.
All right.
Depending on how, how
And are you
it's
just
brown.
looking for like a brown color on that?
The brown color, you also want to give the dough time to cook, and then the venison stew on the inside to get nice and hot.
Okay. Okay, we've cleaned it all. We are ready to go. We're ready to plate. We're going to start with the sauce.
We're going to take some of our Marcella morels, put those right in the center of the plate there. I'm going to get some of that juice.
Mmm, it smells so
Chunk
good.
Morels. Then we cover the bottom there. A little more juice.
Gotta have the juice. Gotta have the juice.
All right, and now we're going to take our pasty from the oven.
Okay. Look at this, a nice golden brown,
That egg white dip
looking
straw.
beautiful.
Okay, pull that out.
Look at that.
Go right on the top, just a little added color, a little parsley,
Gotta have a little color.
and we are good to go.
Wow, that looks delicious. We're not good to go until their fork's out.
There you go.
All right, do we need a little knife maybe or no?
Very hot.
It's hot, but
Very
it's good.
I was gonna say.
Wow, that is good. Come back in here, Chef.
Okay.
This is really awesome. This is awesome. And you know, the crust is just, you know, it's light, it's just delicious. Nice job.
Thank you.
Again, we made, tell us the whole deal, because it's been a while since we went through all this. This is a process, but I will tell you, a good process to go through. And all right, Chef. What a great job. And that stew inside, that's awesome. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
All right, Betty Garrett, one of the chefs here at the Soaring Eagle Casino. All the recipes can be found online. Check it out at q1buckpole.com. I'm Tim Hart. You're watching the Q1 Buck Pole. Back here on the Q1 Buck Pole, well, I'd like to give a little shout out to Shoe Packs in downtown Jackson. They registered more bucks than anybody within that market.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, you know, we went a little bit over to the eastern side of the state, and it kind of didn't have the EHD problem that we have, so congratulations, Jackson folks.
All right, now time for Bucks with Big Buck Hoffner.
Let's start out with Rick Carl from Morley, Michigan with a 9-pointer, the score 35 1/4. Sherry Martin from Harbor Springs brings in an 8-pointer. The score was 34 1/4. And Alan Thrasher from Three Rivers, Michigan brings in a 10-point buck. The score 33 1/2.
Now our stories from Buffalo Barbecue Wings.
Actually, that was a bad day because I was shopping all day. Then I get to this tree stand late, and he just comes walking up. He's following some does, and he walks into another field. And I'm just sitting there, and I see this doe coming towards me, so I was gonna shoot it. And all of a sudden, I look to my right, and he's just flying towards me. And that's when I shot it. And as soon as I shot, I knew I made a bad shot though, but I knew I hit it. He ran back to the corn, and then we found it the next morning.
So how long was your night then, as you were waiting to go look for that buck the next day?
It was a long night.
Did you sleep at all?
No, I didn't sleep.
How many people out there have slept when they got a deer out in the woods they know they hit? Who slept overnight? Not many people, I will tell you that. Well, is that the biggest buck you ever got?
Yeah.
So he took me out on
Who took you out?
my dad
Okay.
on opening day at like 5 o'clock in the morning. I had to get up.
5 o'clock in the morning. Now, for a teenager, 5 o'clock in the morning, that's really early, is it?
Yeah.
All right, well, tell me what happened.
We got out there, and then I was really cold, so I pulled my arms in my coat, and I fell asleep. And then
Another sleeper in the stand. Were you in a blind or a stand?
blind.
Okay.
And then he woke me up when he seen a buck come out. And then I woke up, and then mine went running across, and then looped back around, and I got him.
So kind of a simple little hunt, though.
Yeah.
You get a little sleep, a little shut-eye, the next thing you know, it comes in, you shoot it, it's done.
Yeah.
Biggest one you ever got?
It's the only one I ever got.
The only deer she ever got. Her first one. Let's give her a round of applause. First buck. Look at the brow tines. That is just awesome. Plus the main beams turning in. Let's hear the story.
Wasn't much of a story. Just sat in
Not much of a story?
Not much of a story. Not much of a hunt. I was done by 7:15. So walked out there. He walked out in front of me. I shot him. My kid called me. Oh, I cut my finger trying to open a buck bomb. So I kind of stole my thunder. I had to hurry up and run over and see what was wrong with him, and I had that with me. He's like, "You lucky dog."
Well, I tell you what, anytime that you get your kid calling you a lucky dog, that's a big deal, isn't it?
Well, that's not exactly what he said.
All right, so it wasn't lucky dog, it was lucky something, right?
Right. You know what you were like when you were 14. We're pretty competitive, so.
Well, if I told you what I was like at 14 and some of the language coming out of my mouth, they would kick me out because there's a few kids here tonight. So we'll pass on that. Now, had you been hunting that same land for a long time or not?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we've hunted there the last 20 years. We own it, so.
All right, and as you hunt that land, do you practice quality deer management? Do you have people around you kind of forming a co-op or anything on that order? What do you do?
I have the state of Michigan patrol my land. It's right next to the prison. So the prison guards guard them all. I've got a whole wall full of these things. They actually get to live to be 7, 8 years old. So the hunting guides are good to us. Or the state of Michigan, whichever way you want to look at it.
Well, you know the prisoners can't shoot many of those. You know that, right?
No, and the guards can't either.
Although I think the guards would take a shot or two, would they?
I think a few of them have.
Yeah. Well, what a good-looking deer. Congratulations. The biggest one you ever got?
No.
No.
No, you should see me. Like I said, we're blessed. The state patrols it, so.
Very cool. All right. So, Mark finished in 7th place. Congratulations.
There's not much of a story. I got lucky. Went out on October 11th. It was first frosty morning of the year, and he came through the woods. I had about 5 minutes to decide, and I took him. No neighbors had seen him, no trail cam pictures or anything, so quite a tracking job, but we got him.
Well, I will tell you this, that this is our last TV show of the year, but you can catch all of our webisodes online at q1buckpole.com, including the final party at the Soaring Eagle Casino. We're going to have all kinds of interviews. We're going to show you the crowd. We're going to show you all the merriment that went on at the Soaring Eagle Casino. So again, you can catch those all online on our webisodes at q1buckpole.com. Thanks for being with us this year. We'll be back on TV in September. You've been watching the Q1 Buck Pole. Remember, whenever you're out in the woods, be safe.
Well, you can shoot one with it because it's all you get, one shot, and you reload, buddy.
All right, 2.
So if you can load fast, you can shoot as many as you want. But I can tell you, it takes a little time to load those.
I saw a guy load in about 12 seconds.
Yeah, well, I'm not that good.
No, me neither. It'd take me about a half hour.